Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I have my Sephora VIB haul and review for you guys, as well as a tiny little haul from Morphe. I got 3 brushes from Morphe during the month of April. I talked all about that in my last no-buy update that I uploaded last week, but basically during the month of April I was allowed to put a purchase up on the Sephora website because it was the VIB sale and we had 15% off, so I wanted to take advantage of that sale. So for the month of April I was off of my no-buy for a month, and now where that May is starting, I'm back on track with my no-buy, but it was planned from the beginning that April was not going to be one of my no-buy months. Also, while I purchased those items, I realized that I wasn't really completely happy with the face brushes that I had, so I decided to put a little order on to Morphe's website to get a few makeup brushes, but I'll talk about that at the end of the video. I'll start with this Sephora haul. I'm going to start with the actual products that I purchased, then I'm going to go into the 100-point perks, and I'm going to finish with the sachet samples that I got through my order. So I'm gonna get started. One of the items that I got during the sale was the Too Faced Natural Matte Eyeshadow Palette. This is what it looks like. I'm pretty certain that everyone has seen this palette already. When I first swatched the shades on this palette, I was happy with most of them except for this one right here. When I swatched it on my the back of my hand, I was really like, oh my gosh, it doesn't show up, it doesn't look like anything, and it's one of the colors that I was most excited for because I thought it would do a great all over the lid shade. It actually turns out that it's one of my favorite shades from the palette because it is a great all over the lid shade. For some reason from the back of my hand this doesn't swatch as anything, but if I put it on my lid it actually turns up really great. So I have been playing with that palette a little bit. I haven't been using it every single day just because I'm also working on the Panda palette, but so far I have been loving this Lay Steady shade right here as an all over the lid. It's pretty much the only one that I've worn all over the lid. Then I've been using a little bit of Strapless and Risque, as well as Honey Butter and Chocolate Cookie. These have been like the 6 shades that I've been using the most, as well as Heaven as a brow bone highlight. I really like these eyeshadows. I think that they are great quality. I think that they blend super well. They also wear super well throughout the day, and I feel like this is a great everyday palette, and it's also great and in addition to other shades you might already have in your collection. I didn't have a lot of mattes in my collection, and now I think that that will complete any other look that I want to put up. I'm still getting used to wearing all matte looks. I've been trying it with my Panda palette also last month. I'm liking it, but I also like a little bit of shimmer on mostly all over the lid. So I think that I will also get a lot of use out of the palette with conjunction with shimmerier eyeshadows, so I can mix them with to do a nice combination of shimmers and mattes, and I already have a ton of shimmers in my collection, so I was mostly lacking in the matte department, and I think that this will solve the problem. I think you definitely get your money's worth out of this palette. It's not one of the most expensive, but I think it's a great basic palette to have to complement whatever you already have in your collection. So I'm really happy that I've got that one. I wasn't sure. I almost got it at the November VIB sale and I didn't. And now I'm super happy that I have it, although I won't be playing with it a ton in the next few months because I want to go back to my Panda palette. I'm definitely going to cheat a few days and use that one instead because it's really lovely shades that really work well together. Okay. Then another one of the big items that I got during the VIB sale, I got like 3 main big items and then a few smaller ones. The other big item that I got is the Jaclyn Hill collaboration with Becca for Champagne Pop. It was also on the list of items that I wanted to get in November, and I didn't because it was also on my Christmas list and I didn't know if I was going to get it for Christmas, so I didn't purchase then, but I didn't get it and I was a little bummed about it. So this is the shade for that compact. This is Champagne Pot. I don't know if I mentioned it. It is a nice golden peachy shade. It's what I'm wearing as a highlight today. I don't know if you can tell, it's on the top of my cheekbones. I really like the shade of this highlight. I didn't have a lot of warm highlighters. Most of my highlighters were really more on the cool tone, and I wanted something that was golden. I think that this one is a little peachier than what I expected. Well, but like I wanted to get I know it's not in the Sephora stores. It's I wanted to get Laura Geller Gilded Honey, but it's not available anywhere in Canada. It's really a pain in the tush to get. So I thought that that was a close enough comparison that it would work. So far I've been really liking it, but I think I will like it even more in the summer when I have kind of a tan. I think it's going to be even prettier. And that's another item that I won't be focusing on right now because I'm working on something else. But I'm glad that I have it, and I'm especially glad because the item that I'm working on right now should be done within the beginning of summer. So I think that I will get a ton of use out of this highlighter during the summer because as I mentioned, I like golden type highlighters in the summer, so this will definitely fit that category. Then the last of the bigger items that I got were concealers because I have been having like the worst under eye circles I've ever had in my life. Like usually they are a bluish kind of color. Right now they're almost black. They are so hard to cover, and in the month of February or March I got a concealer from the drugstore to replace the one that I was finishing, and it is working okay on light makeup days, but it's not a full coverage one. So, and I cannot build it up to a full coverage. So when I want something a little bit more, or when I have my worst days of dark under eye circles, it's not covering up. So there were two really talked about concealers on YouTube, one of them being the Makeup Forever Ultra HD and the other one being the Naked Skin Concealer. For the Naked Skin, they were making them also in smaller size, and since I was getting two, I wanted to get like a smaller size just because it was a little bit less expensive. So these are the two that I got. There is one of those two that I'm bringing back to the store today, which is the Makeup Forever Ultra HD Concealer. So this is what it looks like. It's a very slim little tube, and if you haven't seen it, at the other hand, it's just a plastic little thing. It's not an actual applicator. It's really just a plastic thing, and the product comes out of it. I'm just gonna get whatever is on top of it to show you guys the color. This is, you're not even gonna see it. It's pretty much a good match for my skin tone. What they do with these concealers is that you have two types. You have one line, I think it's the R line, I'm not sure, which are actual correctors, and then the Y line are concealers. This is the Y one, this is the Y31, which is a great match for my skin tone at this point. However, this did not cover up as much as I wanted it to. It does, like, I know it's a concealer, so it's not supposed to cancel out any discoloration or blackness that you have under your eyes. But for $32, I expected it to do a little bit more, and it is really a pain to apply. I like the first times that I used it, it would cake and crease like nobody's business. And honestly, I've had drugstore concealers that don't crease as much as this one. Honestly, it's the worst creasing and caking concealer I've ever tried. The only way that I found that it isn't too bad is if I apply it with a brush and then go in with my beauty blender to blend it out, and then set with a ton of powder like immediately after. Then it cakes a little bit, but it's not too bad. Otherwise it is terrible, and I feel like it runs under my eyes. Like at the end of the day, it actually fades away. Like the staying powder on this one is not that great, and the coverage is there, but it's not as intense as I expected it to be, and for the amount and the time that it takes to actually apply it, honestly, it's a lot harder to blend in and to work in and to set if you don't want it to cake or crease. So this is really not a product that was working out well for me. If you have not too bad under eye circles, this might be a good option, but if you have a really bad one, you need to apply a little bit more, and if you apply more, it cakes and creases even more. So I will be returning that one. It didn't do that much of an impression on me. It's really not that great, to be honest. I think that it might be awesome if I were using both as like the corrector and then the concealer on top, but at $32 I don't have the money to spend 64, like to Canadian, I'm talking Canadian money here, but that would mean $64 per concealer. That is way too much. I cannot spend that money on concealing, so I don't want to use that one anymore. The other one that I got is the Naked Skin concealer. I got the baby size because I was getting the full size of that one, so I thought I would get the baby size of this one. I expected to like this one more than this one, so that's why I got the smaller size of this. I actually like this one a lot more. I'm gonna use up the baby size and then I'm gonna see if I want to get the fuller size. This one is in medium light neutral. It is borderline a little bit too dark for me right now, but since it's starting to get warmer outside, it's a matter of days before it is actually the right skin tone for me. But this one is a lot better. It's a little bit creamier, a little bit less liquidy. It applies a lot easier. Like, I honestly just dab it a little bit and then I can blend it with either a brush, a beauty blender, or my fingers. Either, like, any of these three ways will work just fine. It's a no fuss concealer. Like, even if you don't set it right away and you like do the rest of your makeup and then set it like 10-15 minutes later, it doesn't cake or crease too much. Honestly, like, it's not a tenth as bad as this one does if you forget to set it. So it's really nice. It's an effortless one. I really like it. The coverage is decent. I actually have to put 2 layers of this one on too, because as I mentioned, my under eye circles are terrible right now. But it does get the job done a lot better than the other one. So if you were on the lookout for a concealer between those two, I would definitely recommend the Naked Skin concealer. I prefer it a lot over that one. I cannot say that it's holy grail at this point or that it changed my life, but it's still it's a really decent concealer. I might even eventually try and get one of those like peachy tone correctors in a not too expensive brand just to use underneath, because if my dark circles keep getting that bad, I might have to mix in something else, but I'm gonna try and find something not too expensive. But this works okay on its own. I don't really need to go and put some corrector underneath. Okay, I got 3 more items during the VIB sale, and then the rest of them were 100 perks or sample size, and then I'm gonna go into the Morphe. One of the items that I got during the VIB sale was one of the little Sephora fiber masks. This one is the honey mask. I tried that one once because it's a one-use sheet mask. I wasn't really blown away with it. I mean, it didn't do anything amazing to my skin. My skin looked alright, and I didn't feel like the next day I couldn't even tell that I had put that on. There was no noticeable difference on my skin, and I didn't really like how it stood on my face. Like, it kept moving around a little bit. Like, this is a lot bigger than my actual face. I have a smaller face, so this, I mean, I wouldn't repurchase them. Like, they are 8 or 9 Canadian dollars. It's a little bit too expensive for what you get. Like, it's a one-use product. I would rather go back to little jar masks or try other sets that have multiple in them, either from Amazon or stuff like that you can get. Like, each single one is like like somewhere between $2 to $5 instead of being 8 or 9. This is a little bit too expensive for what it did. I didn't feel like it did anything to my skin, and I wouldn't repurchase. Then the other item that I purchased for myself is the Beauty Blender, the Beauty Blusher from Beauty Blender. I had watched Leah's video here on YouTube where she mentioned the items that she was not going to be getting, and that's one of the items that she mentioned, so I felt a little bit silly getting it, but my reasoning behind it is that I don't use a beauty blender to do my whole face with. I will typically use a beauty blender sometimes underneath my eyes and to actually set my face with powder. That is what I use my beauty blenders for. And I had seen like the micro mini, and like the texture of it was a little bit more stiff than a regular beauty blender, and I felt like it was so tiny it would take like forever to do anything to blend. So I actually like checked the reviews online, and the beauty blusher was said to be a good one to do your concealer under your eyes. So it was less expensive than getting the full beauty blender, which I don't do my face with, so I don't need the fuller size. So I got that one. It was a little bit less, sorry, it's kind of dirty right now. I just used it like 15 minutes ago. But this is actually perfect size for doing the under eye. I think it's better than the smaller ones, even though I haven't tried the smaller ones, but I feel like that would be a little bit too tiny. This actually blends very fast, and I like using a sponge to set my concealer with. I think it's like I can use a lot of it and like really press it in so nothing moves at the end of the day. So I feel like this is a great size for that. I'm not saying that you need every single size of beauty blender out there. That's really not what I'm saying right now. But since I only own one beauty blender at the time, and based on the uses that I'm making for my beauty blender, I thought that that size would be perfect, and it actually is quite great. So it's less expensive than the big one. I don't think that I'm going to use it for blush anytime because I have other brushes that I really like for cream blushes. But I think that for the purpose of the under eyes and setting, I think that this is a perfect size. So I'm really happy that I got that. So the last full-size item that I got during the VIB sale, I didn't get for myself. Although I'm using it, I didn't get it for me. It's the Bite Agave Lip Mask. So I have been raving about that lip mask for months and months and months, and I finished mine I think in February. Don't quote me on that, but I think I finished it in then and I was missing it. My lips were missing it, and my boyfriend was missing it. He really likes it. He likes it as a he also uses it too, and he's the one who kind of forced me to get it. He was like, I want you to go and get that. I don't like your current lip balm. Like he doesn't wear the one that I'm wearing right now because he doesn't like it. He was like, I want to get back to that one, so I'm gonna pay for it. I don't mind, but I want you to go and get it. So I got it again. I must say that they improved the overall packaging on this one. The other one had a packaging that would that had like that aluminum foil type packaging, and it would definitely like tear apart a lot. So the outer packaging is better on the newer one, but I think that I'm gonna have to play with the knife or something in the little part of it through which the product comes out, because even though I poked it with the end of the cap, I feel like there's not enough product coming out. It's a little bit harder to get it, and it's not because it's harder to press out of here. It's really because I think that the end is a little bit thinner. I don't know, so I'm gonna have to play with it a little bit to make it perfect distribution of product, but I really like that lip balm. I think it's a great moisturizing lip balm at night, and I like that it smells great and it tastes great, and I really like it. It's colorless, so it won't stain your pillows. It won't do anything funky to them, so I really like it. I really recommend it, and I'm on my second tube, so it means that I really do like it. Then that brings me to my 100-point perks and to the sachet samples from Sephora. So in the 100-point perks, there are not a lot of them that I've tried, but I'm gonna quickly go through what I got. I got the Bae Breeze Hydrating Shot that is in my Use It Up for the month of May. I haven't tried that one yet. I've got the Tarteist Lash Paint from Tarte. This one I also haven't tried because I already had a mascara in rotation. Then I really like getting those like little 100-point perks of mascara. I think that they are a great buy, and I think like honestly, like with all the 100-point perk mascaras that I got last year, I could not purchase any mascara for the year and I'd be good. So I think that those are good deals when you get them. Another thing that I like to get as 100 brain perks are face masks, especially the Glamglow ones, because I rarely, if ever, buy them in full size because they are super expensive, but I like trying them out. So there was one a little sample that you could get. This is the purple mask. This is the Gravity Firming Treatment. So I got that one. I haven't tried it yet because I already have a few masks on rotation, but I will definitely give that one a go. And then the last item that I have tried is the Mercier Bare Baby Lip Gloss. This is what I'm wearing on my lips right now. I also forgot to mention that a lot of the items that I have shown I was wearing, like what I have on my eyes today is all from the Natural Matte palette. What I have as a highlight is the Becca Champagne Pop, and what I'm wearing as a concealer is the Naked Skin Concealer. So I tried my best when I was putting on my makeup to wear as many of these as I could. So that on my lips, that's a Bare Baby lip gloss that I'm wearing. It's a nice pink color. It's like your lips but better, slightly lighter. It's a great gloss to wear as an everyday color. It's beautiful and it's nice also as a lipstick topper, especially on top of a nude. This is perfect. So I'm really liking that shade. I also like the formula. I don't think that it's long wearing by any means, but it's super comfortable on the lips. It's not too sticky and it's not too thick. It's really nice, and it smells sweet but not overly sweet. Like after 10 to 20 seconds I don't really smell it on my lips anymore. So I really like this, and I'm glad that I got it, and I will definitely get a lot of use out of this. Then I'm gonna go through quickly all my sachet samples. I haven't used any of them as of right now. I have two that I'm going to be working on in the month of May. The Guerlain Lingerie de Peau foundation, and then the Este Edit Dissolve the Drama 2-in-1 makeup remover and cleanser. These two I'm going to be working on in May. I haven't yet tried them. I've got one sample of the Glamglow Thirsty Mud. I have a like deluxe size sample of that one as well in my cupboards that I've been using for a few months. I know that I really enjoy it, and I thought that the sachet sample was going to be a good thing to keep for when I travel. I can just bring that. It's a mask that I know I like, and it's easy to fit into your luggage and stuff, so I'm going to keep it for that. I have a sample of the Too Faced Glitter Glue primer. I have tried their regular eyeshadow primer. I actually quite enjoy it, and I don't have anything for when I'm wearing glitter and intense stuff on my eyes, so I'm looking forward to trying that one. Then the last sample, actually I didn't try the product, but the quantity of sample that you get in here is actually really good. This is the Josie Maran First Cold Pressed Color, their Argan Oil Foundation Fluid. And this is how many samples you get in there. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those little samples. And you definitely can do your full face with one sample. I think that you can do your full face like 2 or 3 times with one of those samples. So that is going to be great to actually try out the foundation. I'm on the lookout for a new foundation, so it's going to be perfect. I'm going to get to really try that one out. And like the shade selection that you get in that sample is really good. I mean, you've got their absolute lightest shade as well as their absolute darkest shade. No, not their darkest, their second darkest shade. And you get colors in the middle. So I think that I can wear, like, I think I might be somewhere in between those two shades, but then I can mix in a few of the different colors if I like it and get even more time to try the product out. So I'm really happy about that sample. I haven't tried it, as I mentioned. I will let you guys know how it works whenever I try it, but I feel like that is definitely a killer sample size product. So good job, Josie Maran, on that sample size. I forgot to mention one item that I got during the VIB sale. This is the Bumble and Bumble Sunday Shampoo. This is the only one item that I cannot, like full-size item that I cannot review as of right now, just because I haven't yet tried it. I was trying to finish my sea salt shampoo from Lush. It's supposed to be a really stripping shampoo that removes all the gunk from the week. You use it once a week, and then you can use a mask afterwards, and since your hair has been stripped a little bit, then it's prepped to really soak in the moisture. So I'm going to to try that this upcoming Sunday, so I will let you guys know if I like it or not. That brings me to the last little part of this haul, which are the makeup brushes. From Morphe. So basically, when I got my highlighter from during this order, I actually realized that I didn't love the way that I was applying highlighter. I'm using it with a, of course I didn't bring it with me. It's a Makeup Geek highlighter brush. It's like one of those dual fiber brushes. I especially love that brush for liquid cream highlighters and for cream or liquid blushes. I think it is perfect for that. But for powder highlight, I feel like it's a little bit too wide and it doesn't give exactly the look that I wanted. So I decided to try a few from the Morphe line, and I also wanted a new blush brush because again, I like the blush brush that I have, but I think that it's not the perfect one. So I decided to put an order for 3 specific brushes. So I had on my wish list for a long time to get a fan brush. And the Morphe one is really not that expensive, and this is the Morphe M301. If you order from Morphe's website, you can use your PayPal account, and I had a cashback in my PayPal account, so I thought, well, why not? I'm going to use that cashback, and then after that the rest of the brushes are not going to be too expensive. Most of the expenses from those brushes didn't come from the actual brushes, but rather the shipping, because I'm in Canada and shipping is always pricier when you ship to Canada. So the first brush that I wanted to get is a fan brush. This is the 310 fan brush. I used it for the first time this morning, so it's not an in-depth review by any means. The actual 3 brushes I got recently, so my review is almost like a first impression. It actually does a good job at applying your highlight to the top of your cheekbones. I feel like it's weird because when you apply the product to your brush, you don't actually see that there is product out there, so you can actually overdo it really easily, but that, like, after if you use it, I mean, I'm pretty certain that you get used to it and you get the right amount of product. I think it deposits it very, very well because it does like that line exactly where you want it. So far I've been liking it. I think it does a great job at applying my highlighter to my face, and I feel like with this one I can do just a little swipe if I want to. I can go a little bit more, and I actually feel that I can also use it as a blush brush if my blush brush isn't cleaning. I think that this could actually work as well as a double duty. Then the other brush that I also got for highlighter is the M501. This I of course got because Jaclyn Hill is raving about that blush in every single one of her videos basically, but it is actually quite a great size to apply to the top of your cheekbones. It is like, if you want to apply your highlight, like, you can really build a highlight with this really intense, or you could do just a little swipe and it is great. Like, if you want to pinpoint that highlight, I think that this brush is great, and I also think that if you want to highlight other places on your face, it's even better because it is really tiny. So if you want to do just a little bit of work, it is perfect. That brings me to the last brush that I got. This one is from their Elite line. This is the E4. The Elite line brushes are so much softer than the other ones. Those are okay. They're not too badly, they're not too stiff, and they are soft enough. They do shed a little bit when you first wash them. Like, I usually get my brushes, wash them right away, and then use them. The first time that I washed them, they shedded a little bit. This one didn't shed at all when I cleaned it, and it is by far the softest of the 3. It was also a little bit more expensive than the other 2, but nothing terrible. Morphe brushes are really inexpensive. But this is a nice size brush to apply your blush. It works really well. So far I've been liking it. It's not necessary, it didn't wow me too much. It's an okay brush. It does the job great. It does the job fine. It's not like my favorite like, I don't know how to say this, but it's good. It's not like, it didn't wow me, but it's good. And it's really soft and not too expensive. So if you're on the market for a good blush brush, this would definitely do the trick. I know that it's meant for contour, but I would definitely not use that for contour. And also, the only little tiny bit of an issue that I have with it is if you're using super pigmented blushes, be careful because this blush applies well, but it doesn't blend too well. So if you're using like light blushes that you have to build up, I think that this is a perfect blush. But if you're using really pigmented blushes, I don't think that this is the best brush because it doesn't blend too well. But it's a great quality brush though. So this is it for my super long haul. I know that I made it a little bit longer because, as I meant, I don't really like doing hauls for hauls. I like doing them and adding review in. So this way I feel like you get a little bit of information out of the product. So I like doing them with as much review as possible to give as much information and not being only showing the items that I got. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and I will see you in the next one. Have a great day. Bye bye.